did this all start? Well, let me ask you the first question. Why isn't Easter on the same day as other holidays?
Well, that's a great question, Carl. We know the last time, annually we do the Easter and the birth of the Black Christ and the whole spiritual representation that our ancestors created thousands of years ago, literally based off of the sun. And we know that the sun is born out of the death of winter at December the 25th, and our ancestors saw that to keep that story alive through the great heroes and sheroes, we see that personified with Haru, who was born from his mother, Aset, that symbolizes Virgo. A lot of this is astrotheology, but unfortunately, our people are caught up in the stories that were taken from our ancestors, and now that was the winter solstice, now we're at the spring solstice. And the spring solstice is literally the resurrection, especially the bad weather that you have back east, and the cold and snow, and everything is barren, and now we see that the flowers are coming back, the days are longer, and the sun is out longer, and the flowers are blooming, the leaves are coming back to the trees. That is the resurrection of nature itself that our ancestors referred to as Malachi. And these are spiritual stories that our ancestors told around this phenomena of the birth and the resurrection of the sun. And of course, as I said, great heroes and sheroes played a personification of that. We are a very deeply spiritual people, and we created many spiritual stories that became part of the Western Judeo-Christian and Islamic culture. We could even add Buddhism, Krishna, and so on. But unfortunately, we get caught up in the mix, and we don't look at what's right in plain face, in plain sight, and that is the spring solstice and resurrection. Now, in reference to your story, why isn't it the same day as December the 25th, or related to your question, why is it not the same time? Well, when we come into the spring solstice, and we now have moved from going into what is now called the spring equinox, and the reason why Easter is never on the same date, because it's based off of a moon holiday. Now, for those of us who know the ancient stories of Kemet, or the Netters, or the divine spiritual ones that we see or refer to as angels today, that was referred to as Tahuti. Tahuti represented the moon. Now, March 23rd will be the first full moon. How do we know when Easter is going to be? We know December the 25th is always December the 25th, because that's the lowest point where the sun starts to resurrect out of the winter solstice. Now we're in the spring solstice. How we can tell, for those who have the calendars, you can still buy the calendars, and has the various phases of the moon. You have the full moon, you have the new moon. Well, March 23rd will be the full moon. Now, how you can tell it's the first full moon after the spring solstice. The first Sunday that'll follow will always be Easter. That's how you can tell. Go outside at night, you can see the moon is starting to go through its phases. It's going to get larger and larger. By March 23rd, it will be a full moon. By Easter Sunday, it'll be a complete full moon. That's how we can tell the beginning.
Of the solstice, testing with 4 days of Osiris being dead and resurrected. Alright? That is the Egyptian holiday that they follow. Now, Esther, which is no more than Ishtar, which is no more than Isis. The reason why Esther is the only book in the Bible where the word God is not used is because they would have to put the Egyptian names in. You follow that? Most of the names of people in the Bible are Egyptian names. You just don't know that. And I should correct that and say attributes and not names. Language. They changed Sarah to Sarah. And he started going down. And he followed out the name. And James took their Egyptian names away and gave them Chaldean names or Phoenician names or Canaanite names. They changed Sethur to Seth, which became Seth. In Genesis, they altered all these names to suit what they were following culture. The Bible can say that because we get back to Esther and Easter and Ishtar and Isis, it's all the same principle. And the egg is a whole egg that Ra was born out of. There's no egg in Christianity. There is no egg in Judaism. And there's no egg in Islam. The only place where there's an egg birth recorded is in the Egyptian book of the dead, when they say that Ra came out of an egg. And then the concept of a stork delivering the baby is the same story that they stole from the stolen Egyptian at Tahuti, right? And gave it to them as a dove. Why did they give the dove? Well, you know, magicians use doves. They pull them out of nowhere. You know that? You know why the dove doesn't flap around? Because if you take a dove and stick the dove in your bosom or anywhere else, the moment he gets out of sight, he goes on the stage. Did you know that? They cease to move. You go to any source, any pet store, and ask them to take a dove and take it bag, and put the dove in their little bag and close it, and the dove will stop moving. Okay? You should be honest. So, Jesus, at 33 years old, was resurrected from the dead, or what was a dead state, as a dove. That's why he said he dove. He said, and the voice was behind the dove, and Jesus was laying in the dead state and put back to life. This is an Egyptian ritual followed from Osiris, who was dead, and Tahuti, with his power, gave Isis the seed to bring Horus to life. So, in actuality, Horus was the rebirth of his father, the god of the underworld, Osiris. About that? So the story today of Jesus dying, going into the cave, the sarcophagus, and being pulled out, and the men dressed in white was there down there was the order of Tahuti.